Welcome back to another four-way wood turning project. Now this time it was Richard's idea to turn enclosed vessel with a height greater than the diameter or the width, and the opening should be at least 1/4 of the diameter or less. And you'll see what I've come up with. And also don't forget, after watching this video, to check out Sam, Richard and Mike's version with the links in the video description. Now what I have here is a lovely chunk of spalted rippled ash. You can see a lovely figure here, spalting, discoloration and everything. Should be a really interesting piece once we get the oil on. Now after moving in the summer and building my new shop, I did not relocate one or two logs that I left behind. So at the moment this is pretty much everything I have at my disposal. So I will have to make this one work, and I really want to make it work because it's really lovely. Now the good news is that the height and diameter are exactly the same. So this is still, it's nice and dry, but it's roughed profile, and I still have to true up the outside, so that will reduce some of the diameter and it will make height greater than the diameter, and I still have to get a more pleasing shape. This one is a little bit rugged, let's say. Now the opening, unfortunately, it's closer to 1/3 of the opening instead of 1/4. But again, this is all I have at the moment. Now I will make it up for you at a later stage, but again, for the moment, this is all I have. So let me show you how I would turn this. Now what I have here, these are step jaws designed by Richard Graffen, built by VICMARK, and this is just a wooden block that will go in a middle step of the jaws, and I'll just put a little bit of paper towel. This will just drive the vessel until I true it up and get the tenon and the surface nice and true. And I still have the original knob here from the tailstock or tail center. Just true it up real quick. Now I'm not still sure if I'm going to leave a foot or not, but just for the moment I want to true it up. I'm not looking for a perfect surface or anything, just to make it nice and true. And also do the top area. So again, just removing the disbalance in the piece, so that should be nice and true. It is rough surface. Now ideally I could finesse and finish the outside completely, but I'm going to first do the hollowing. So now I can grip freshly trued up foot here or a tenon, and we can do the hollowing, make a nice flowing curve on the inside. Now, really good choice of tools for using on enclosed pots or vessels like this one here, especially if you have smaller opening than this one here, is to use specialty hollowing tools. Now I don't have any of those. My wish is one day to buy Kelton hollowing system or Mike Mahoney signature hollowing system from Carter & Son. So one day maybe I'll get one of those and I'll show you a really small opening hollow vessel. But that's for the future. This is now, and what I'm going to do is use several tools to get the inside of a relatively small opening to get a nice smooth surface on the inside, nice and clean without tear out. Now the first tool that I'll be using for majority of the top of the vessel here is this one here. This is 10 mil diameter, 3/8 of an inch, I believe, diameter ball gouge. This grind here is, or this technique I learned from my mentor Richard Graffen. This is roughly 30 degrees, maybe even smaller or less, and this will provide me a bevel contact pretty much all the way up to here, maybe even deeper. I'll see how deep can I go to get a really nice clean surface. I'll actually cut all the way up to here, so this will produce a really nice clean surface on the top end here. Now for the bottom, I'll use a variety of the scrapers. This French curve asymmetric curved bowl scraper, this one here also with a shallower curve, and also this behemoth here. This is 38 mil wide by 10 mil thick scraper, bullnose profile here, and I can adapt this one slightly depending on the curve that I have on the inside. So that's the tools I'll be using. So you won't be seeing much because of the small opening, but I'll try to reposition the camera the best way I can. Now what I'll do real quick is just true up the rim here, so that's good. And now I'll try to keep my hands out of your way. Now what's happening here is my dust hood, the right wing is actually in the way, so I'll have to remove that. Ideally, what I would like is to get this tool rest slightly at an angle towards in, sort of at a right angle to the way I'm going with the gouge, but this chunk here of the tool rest is actually in the way, so not ideal, but in this band right here, I have too much of the wood, around maybe 10 mil of excess timber. Now I need to get the cut nice and flowing from this area all the way to the bottom. Now the small 10 mil ball gouge is doing a great job on this area, the 1/3 of from the top here, but as I'm moving further down it starts to vibrate. This is where I'll use this gouge and with a really long bevel, 16 mil diameter, and we'll see what that will do, and I'll have to drop the rest. Much more stable tool for the job. Let's see the surface. Yeah, really nice and clean surface. I'll show you that later. Let's see. In this area here, I should be, so you can see how further out I'm from the tool rest, so I need to be careful. Not something that I recommend. Again, there are tools designed for stuff like this. Okay, getting really close to matching this area and the bottom. Now at this stage where I am, and excuse my rudimental drawing, so we are clean, nice and clean up to here, and I had, like I said, a big step. This area, as I've cut with the gouge, I left this kind of step here, and with that big scraper I removed this line here, or this corner ridge, whatever you want to call it, and I went deeper here like so, and I have a lump in the center. So what I want to do now with the scraper, again the big one, just lightly connecting from this area here down to this area in one nice flowing path or curve, like so. Removing all the high lows, and I'll do that a few times, and then at the end we are left with a lump in the very middle, and that I can take care of later. Let's go one more time, slightly higher up. And that, I'm not sure if you saw that little kick, that was a little wrong move. Now most of the surface on the inside is actually quite good. Still that little ridge here, so that should be around this area here. So I'll reposition like this. Nice and smoothly. Just lightly trying to blend those curves, and I think this is really good. Actually, I can still see that little ridge, but the surface is actually really nice, and I can double check the thickness. So it's getting gradually thicker here, so I can go slightly deeper as well. This is on the bottom how the scraper looks, as you can see, and the shape here. So again, really light feel. I just want to follow what I already have. And that little twitch on the end was hitting that lump in the very center. Okay, that's really good. So let me show you before I start to sand how the interior looks like. So here and on the opening you can see it looks really good. And as I move in, there is one patch, and you might be able to see it now here. I think it's a little bit softer area here, doesn't like to be scraped here, but as you can see, everything else is really nice and clean. Sanding, and I'll turn you in when I'm done. Alright, so the inside is nicely sanded, and I've used one of these, so it's a dowel with a slot in it, and I wrap the sandpaper around this and then just sand the inside. So as I still have this in a chuck, I'll finesse the rim here and do the most of the outside shaping, and then we'll turn it around. So I can bring the speed up now a little bit more, 1400 RPM. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here on the opening, but this is spindle gouge. There's a little bit of run out, so that's nice and true now. And I was thinking maybe to put some sort of a decoration here. First, what I'll do is use a refiner as a shear scraper. Really lightly. Now this is nice and smooth, but the rest has a little bit of run out, so I will have to just lightly skim it over. Like so. Now I was thinking maybe get this a little bit more of a modern shape, so let's get the inside or this lip maybe towards inside like this. Okay, I'm pleased with that. I was thinking maybe a little ridge here. Let's see how would that go. Somewhere around here. Okay. And now I can bring this down. Now back with the refiner. Just want to see before I start to finesse this. This is really nice and clean. A little bit here still needs a little bit work. So brought you a bit further out so you can see. This is still refiner. So I'm just thinking to follow this curve. Now, just before I continue on, I just want to double check how much thickness is here. I think there is enough to do what I plan to do. So that's actually, it's not that thick, 6 mil. So not much to play around. Really nice into a corner. So now this curve matches this one. You can maybe see it here a little bit better. So now I can continue on. I'll do a little bit of shaping on this side as well with a spindle gouge, just to project the curve. Okay, that's looking really good. So I'll do sanding on the top portion up to here, and then I'll turn it over. So the top portion is done. You can see that's looking really lovely. And the next stage is to turn this around, the same as I did on the beginning. So that's so far. Tighten up the tailstock. You don't need much pressure here, and as you can see, that running nice and true. So now I can focus on the bottom portion, and I would like to get rid of this foot here. Now maybe a little reverse curve like so. Let's see how that looks. I think it might lift the piece a little bit, although maybe a round bottom base would be better. Refiner. I want nice flowing curve up to this point, and this will probably be a little flat area. Is that. So all now that it's left is just to clean up at this knob here, but I'll do that off the lathe. You can see how this looks. So take the pliers and just take that out, and you can carve this a little remaining or sand it, whichever way you go. So I'll do that real quick, and I'll sign it, and I'll show you after I apply the oil on. Here it is. Looks really lovely. Now first let me show you here the signature, and it has a little flat spot the size of this signature, or indentation slightly. So when you place it like so, you can see it finds its place, and you cannot tip it over. So it has enough weight on the bottom. Actually, maybe if I reduced a little bit more, it will be a little bit better, maybe better balanced. But as you can see, it's a nice playful vessel. And to show you all of the outside, awesome color on it. Really, all of the browns, the gray, the yellow. And the figure here, the ripples, you can see a lot of them. Really nice grain and color. And try to show you on the inside how it looks. Again, really nicely. Try to get it in focus. Yeah, so overall I'm really happy with this, how it turned out. and it's taller than it's wider, which is one criteria met, but the opening here it's slightly wider than it needs to be. But again, I'll make that up for you in the future. Once I get hollowing system, then I'll make a really small hole hollow vessel. So but for now, I'm really pleased with this one. And please don't forget watching Sam, Mike and Richard's version. The links to their videos are in the video description. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.